Hey, football fans, welcome back to another episode of Lions Latest, the show where we gather around and talk about the greatest team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. I'm your host, Bryan Hanes, and we have some stuff to go over after the game against the Bengals to talk about. So let's jump straight into the video. Starting off, we are just going to review the game against the Bengals, and it was definitely an interesting one. Not what I expected, but I guess not technically bad because we came out with a win. The Lions defeated the Bengals 37 to 24, extending their win streak to 4 games, led by strong performances mostly by Jared Goff and David Montgomery. The Lions built a significant lead with help from 3 interceptions of Bengals quarterback Jake Browning, converting them into points. And although the Bengals fought back with some late touchdown passes, which scared me, including 2 to Jamar Chase, the Lions held on for the win, also securing a late safety, which sealed the game and showed improvements on special teams. So it was a good game. It was a good game. We looked super, super strong in the first half. It just felt like we took the gas or the foot off the pedal in the second. The Lions did show some sloppiness on both offense and defense in the later part of the game, leading to the which led to their lead shrinking, although they still managed to secure a win, which is really what I care about. The victory was significant for Detroit, marking their 3rd straight win against an NFC North opponent. Hey, all right, we've just been going through the AFC North and dismantling them. I love it. Without Burrow, this obviously was an easier game for the Lions against the Bengals, but more importantly, it was a very important win for the team. For fans who were saying this is going to be a game we lose, this is going to be a year we take a step back. We have under 10 wins, right? And just despite Joe Burrow not being there, we still played fantastically for the first half, and I think we did deserve this win. Um, I think there is a big miscommunication with how the season is going. I think honestly, we look kind of better. Um, Maybe that's just because our defense is still all around right now, but I think honestly we look good. I think we look efficient. We just need to not do that thing where all of a sudden we forget how to play football for a quarter, right? I think honestly that's the big thing because the big players here were Jared Goff, David Montgomery, Jameer Gibbs had a crazy touchdown run where he just kept plowing through players until he got into the end zone. That was awesome. Sam Laporta finally got his first touchdown. That was awesome. Brock Wright was able to get a touchdown off of a trick play. So Brock Wright lovers, there you go. Jameson Williams, really, really, really quiet night. Get that right out of the way. Only 1 catch for 9 yards. That's it. No touchdowns, no nothing. And sure, go to the comments right now and tell me how wrong I am because he's such a great pass blocker. He's such a good run blocker. Dude, JMO, I need more out of you from this, honestly. And I don't know if it's because Goff doesn't want to throw to him. I don't know if it's because he's getting double covered every game. But it just seems like JMO got paid and then we haven't heard from JMO. Period. That's what it feels like to me. Let me know if I'm wrong, but that's what it kind of feels like. Defensively, we were great. Amik Robertson got the first interception of the game. Let's go, Amik. Welcome back. And then Kirby Joseph was able to go get another interception, actually stole it away from Terrion Arnold, which is pretty funny, but managed to go get an interception. Kirby Joseph, that marks 20 interceptions for him in his first 4 years in the NFL. Congratulations. Alex Anzalone was able to get the final interception of the game. Good for Alex Anzalone. Always love to show the linebackers some love. Great coverage linebacker as well, so I'm not surprised he is getting a pick every once in a while. And then Jacob Sailors was all right on kick returns. He had 3 returns for 87 yards, and Khalif Raymond only had to return 1 punt for 11 yards. Overall, it's a really good game. I think there was obviously some stuff we could have done better, not letting Jake Browning get 3 touchdowns at the very end, which kind of sucked. It allowed Jamar Chase to get 2 touchdowns and 110 yards. Allowed T. Higgins to get a touchdown, 22 yards. Those were the big worries, right? That's what we said going into this game. The only thing that worries me is if our pass rush gets lazy at one part of the game and Browning's just allowed to start hitting his top 3 receivers for whatever he wants. And that's what kind of happened until we locked in and obviously then got the pressure going again and ended the game with a safety. So that kind of brings us to what were the players of the game, right? First of all, go in the comments right now and tell me what you thought about this matchup. What were your big takeaways, and what do you think that has to really say about us going forward in the league? But now the players of the game. I think, first of all, Goff. We got to bring up Goff. Goff was effective. He completed 19 of 23 passes for 58 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, if that is not a quarterback doing his job, I don't know what is. Sure, he made a couple mistakes here and there. Sure, there were some drives where it felt dry. He was missing a couple targets. But if you're winning a game and your quarterback has 3 touchdowns with over 250 passing yards, and he's only missing 4 of his passes throughout the entire game, I would say you have a very effective pocket passer who is making things happen on the offense. Good job, Jared Goff. Really happy to see that. Let's continue to see that because there are some haters that think Jared Goff isn't that good. David Montgomery. I think this one goes without explaining, right? It was the homecoming game for David Montgomery. He was coming back to Cincinnati for the first time since high school, seeing his sister who got into a bad car accident last year. This was a very heartfelt game from David Montgomery, and Dan Campbell and John Morton definitely let him have some fun in this game. David Montgomery had a special night throwing for 1 touchdown, but also rushing for a touchdown. So not only did he have a rushing touchdown on a trick play, he also was able to throw a passing touchdown to Brock Wright, which was awesome. Very glad I got to catch that. David Montgomery, the quarterback, this obviously was allowed to happen because of his history being a high school quarterback. He says he throws missiles. He says he throws absolute rockets. And we saw it all on display there. Great job, David Montgomery. Be careful, Jared Goff. He's coming for that starting job. And finally, Derek Barnes. I want to give a shout out to Derek Barnes instead of the entire defense, just because Derek Barnes really sealed this game for us. He extended the Lions extended their lead on a touchdown pass from Goff to Isaac Tesla, and honestly, that was hype. That was like, okay, now we just need to go make a defensive stop, and Derek Barnes was able to go make that stop, which was a safety in the Bengals end zone. Barnes did a great job of this whole game, keeping Browning contained, making sure nothing was really allowed up the middle. Barnes was very, very good this game. What honestly sealed it for him as being a player of the game was getting this safety late in the game. I mean, he was unblocked, he was shifty through the line, and Derek Barnes was able to just go in and make a game-changing safety. It didn't allow the Bengals to go and have that chance of comeback anymore. It allowed us to get the ball back with 2 more points and just run the clock down with our running game. Derek Barnes, this is the kind of play. This is where you really say, who wants to go make a play right now? Who wants to go be the one? And Derek Barnes was the one. Derek Barnes is the one who caught the interception against Tampa Bay in the playoffs and brought us to the game that we lost against the 49ers. But Derek Barnes has just been a great player. I love having him on the team. I love that we gave him an extension. I love that he continues to make plays when it really matters the most. Derek Barnes, thank you, buddy. Continue to have a great game, or continue to have a great season, rather. I am very excited to see what you will do for the rest of it. And that will kind of take us into our next topic, talking about the fantasy players. Not necessarily the players of this game, but just how did they perform in fantasy? Well, let's start off with St. Brown. And I think this one's just going to be on every list because he just continues to perform like he's been performing. St. Brown had 18 points without a touchdown. What? St. Brown is a PPR demon, starting to look similar to Cooper Kupp those years ago, right? A dominant and reliable target that can rack up those catches for PPR points and then gets the yards after the catch. So while you're like, hey, that's 1.5 points, cool. All of a sudden, it's 2.5 points because he ran for another 10 yards. Really like what St. Brown's been doing. Really like that I drafted him. Just a reliable guy, one of those guys you don't ever have to worry about from week to week. Maybe he'll have one bad week where he gets only 6 points. But for the most part, St. Brown's been great, and I like what I see out of him. David Montgomery, I think he earned a spot on this list. He had 18.2 points thanks to that touchdown run and touchdown pass. He has all right yards. He had around 62 yards, but having him as a backup or a flex on your team, you just have to be excited, right? He gets involved with these trick throw plays because of his high school quarterback history and because of the Lions offense, and it allows him to just get these random chunk points in games that honestly can save you against your opponent if you're not expecting it, right? If you have Montgomery in your flex spot and he's only expected to get 12 points and he gets 18 because of a touchdown pass, that might be the difference in a game. David Montgomery is definitely an interesting guy to have on your fantasy team. He really does fluctuate from week to week, but if you get him on a week where he's going crazy, I know you're excited, and I know you are a happy person. And finally, Sam Laporta. Why Sam Laporta? Well, after having 3 weeks of just okay numbers, we finally have the week we've been waiting for with Sam Laporta. 20.2 points and his first touchdown of the season. 92 yards and 6 targets. What a target. Fantasy owners, don't lose hope in him. Don't think this is just a one-week wonder kind of performance. Sam Laporta, we know he can be great, and we thought a lot of the targets were going to get taken away from him because of JMO. But if JMO only has 1 target, I feel like Sam Laporta is going to continue to get some love like he saw yesterday. And if you're getting 6 targets for 92 yards, oh my gosh, you have to just be open in all the right spots to get all those extra yards. What a great target. What a great tight end. Still glad I drafted him. Have a great rest of your season, Sam Laporta. And you guys let me know right now what you guys thought about that. Did I miss anyone in fantasy in particular that had a great game that you thought I should have noted? Let me know right now. Finally, we are going to talk about just some viewer comments after this game got concluded. Started with Stephen Fallon, H9C, says, Terrion Arnold has been dominant as far as run stuffing defensive backs. So we're talking trash about his bad coverage in the beginning of games. Let's tell the whole story. Terrion Arnold needs to do better in the first 2 quarters, but his second 2 quarters have been really good. It's the tale of 2 sides with Terrion Arnold, so he needs to tighten up in the early game. Lions have a big opportunity for secondary to grow versus the Bengals in week 5. Let's go Lions, 40-18 Detroit Lions. Okay, well, the score prediction was wrong, but honestly, I would have probably gone with you the same way. I thought we were going to drop 50 on their heads, but so I'll give you a break on the prediction. After watching the Bengals game, after watching Terrion Arnold drop an interception, after watching him ruin our first safety because it was a holding call down the field on him. To me, honestly, that is what ruins Terrion Arnold for me. It's not whatever the poor coverage or whatever. It's these mistakes that cost the rest of the team, and it just seems to always be him. I agree. He does end up having a fine second half, right? We don't really hear from him that much. But if he's really going to be letting us down that much in the first, like, that can't happen. That can't happen because the first half is where we get our momentum. That's where we bring our lead. If we're making mistakes in that first half and we have to go clean it up in the second half, that is a harder game to win. I like Terrion Arnold. I think he will continue to grow and develop. But what I'm seeing from him right now is just like rookie mistakes after rookie mistakes. It doesn't seem like he's really growing from them all that much. And while we keep almost seeing the first interception, he usually tends to drop it. Or someone else comes in and makes the interception for him, like Kirby Joseph yesterday. Stealing his interception was pretty funny. I just need to see more from Terrion Arnold, especially as a first-round pick. And you guys can defend him all you want in the comments. But until I start to see consistent play and less defensive holding calls on plays where we finally make something happen, I'm going to continue to be a little upset with him. Thank you so much for your comments, Stephen Fallon. I appreciate it. And finally, one Detroit Rider says, we won't get to the Super Bowl because Goff folds in playoff games last year. We could have won, but Goff is trash under pressure. Right? That's what everyone has been saying, right? Goff, he's not mobile. He folds under pressure. I think it's complete BS. Total. Dude, we lost our playoff game last year because we didn't have defense. We didn't have a defense, period. We were doing fine scoring on offense. You know, maybe letting J-Mo throw the ball down the field in a tight situation wasn't a great idea. Ben Johnson. But for the most part, Jared Goff looked fine. He had a couple of interceptions, sure. And if you want to say that's because he folds under pressure, sure. But we lost that game because of our defense. First and foremost, our secondary was terrible. We let Terry McLaurin go for whatever he wanted. We let them rush all over us. We let them beat us defensively. That was the problem. I think saying Goff folds under pressure is insane. He's been to a Super Bowl. We lost in the Super Bowl. Okay, well, Tom Brady didn't do that great either. It was a defensive game. I mean, he's been to the Super Bowl, guys. He's consistently gone to the playoffs. And if you want to see he's a playoff choker, sure. But I think a lot of what has been part of these playoff losses, injuries. Against the 49ers, it was defense. It has always been defense. I don't think it's really fair to say that Goff is the reason we lose in the playoffs, that he chokes in the playoffs. Because consistently, I think we've seen fine things from Goff. This year, I'll give it to you. If we go to the playoffs this year and Goff chokes, I will come back to this video, Detroit Rider, and I will lay down my apology for you. But as it stands, I think Jared Goff isn't necessarily the problem. We're just going to have to see where it goes. But feel free to disagree with me in the comments, guys. I'd love to hear the stats or whatever you guys are going to pull up for me. With that being said, we are out of time today. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Lions Latest. If you made it to this point in the video, tell me right now what your favorite part about the game versus the Bengals are and what you're looking forward to going forward. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell so you never miss a single video here. So sorry about being sick in the last video. I saw you guys weren't too happy about that. I feel better now. Sorry. Go Lions. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video.